Alright, this is an Era 1 playthrough, build 10.3.6, Deep Void, Warlike, Elite Aggressive, going no ships, only turrets. That's right. I'm a big fan of Era 1, figured to more deeply learn it, I would try some different playstyles. This playstyle, no ships, only turrets, is a great way for people who like building bases and who like turret defense games to enjoy Era 1. So unfortunately I came upon a problem when playing this as weird things started happening late in the game with turret targeting. Actually, the whole reason I made this video was because I was having trouble in the discussion forum relaying my issue to the developers. That's right, I like Era 1 so much I decided to download CapCut and make a YouTube account and make this video. Yeah. So anyway, the issue I'm having is that the turrets aren't targeting correctly. And it doesn't seem to happen until later in the game when there are many targets. Hopefully, as this playthrough will show you, that is something that happens a few times. So I started this build with a few scavengers and focusing on getting research up right away and then just making sure I had spots for the scavengers to land. Prioritize getting power up because I think the most important thing when you're not building any ships is you're going to need to get some base defenses like shields and auto turrets, which are attacking at this attack and it's all going correctly. You see that they are firing at the enemy and it's working. Now, those couple ships that I have that you get when you start the game, they're about to get completely destroyed, and I probably could have done a better job micromanaging so they would last longer, but in all reality, the whole purpose here is for shields to get up and running. That's the only focus and the only thing I care about. I need to get that done and tech up so we can get those turrets going. Now, the next attacks here go pretty smoothly. If you look around the screen at the top and bottom, you see the bars. They have some numbers in there, and it tells you about each attack, so feel free to just jump to whichever one. If you want to see where the really big failure is, it's actually at 8 minutes and 55 seconds. That's the main one. And nonetheless, I've had some trouble with some of the scavengers before, trying to convince them to go mine instead of waiting to mine a different asteroid that's all full right next door. There's another point in this video, it's not marked on the screen, but some of the scavengers are just sitting around like mid-drive, which used to be a problem a few builds ago where when you would load the game, things that were moving would just stop their transit, but this one was for this build. I build this utility star sometimes when I'm just not willing to think about all the extra little builds and where they need to go on my main structure. I figured it was the kind of fastest way to get some real estate up. Flamethrower is working good, everybody's clocked in, all the targeting seems to be on point. So it all seems to be working, and that's kind of where I think that a lot of people are like, there's no targeting problem, nothing's wrong. Well, they're wrong. I really wish that they would make it so that you can have more than just 3 or all building modules go at once. It'd be nice to be able to do 4 or 5 or 6. I mean, I don't see a reason not to kind of keep going until that whole bar is filled with options. But every once in a while I've got a transition between 3 and all, and that's where you'll see things happen like all my buildings suddenly start constructing, because if you stop, then all your scavengers will stop mining and stop operate. Well, they'll mine, but they'll stop delivering it. They'll all pile up kind of on top of your base, and then when you start going again, when you use it, they don't know to start delivering again. They'll just sit there and do kind of like one at a time off of one of them, while a bunch of the other drop points are just empty. And that thing where that thing pops up because the enemy wants to trade, if you have selected a module and you're trying to place it down and that thing pops up, that module is no longer selected. So you're trying to build something in the heat of battle. All the enemy has to do is text message you and your whole game gets flipped upside down. So that's frustrating too. You can hear it in my voice. I get mad about these kind of things because I really like this game. I think there's a lot of good stuff here that they've done. So yeah, I'm kind of creating this hammerhead design. You can see here there's, you know, all types of different turrets on there. Probably 2 of kind of each on each side. I've got a whole power supply situation getting built on that utility star. I started up on the back over there. A new mining operation. Okay, yeah, here's the first big ship. And see, it targeted it. Look at that. They're shooting it. The missiles are flying. They love it. It's doing well. This is how the game should be played, and this is good stuff. Now, I don't like that it takes so much to get the missiles to hit the command unit. Their trajectory is frustrating because a lot of times it feels like they could make the turn, but they won't. So here, I don't recall. I feel like it was doing good, but it also looks like a different scene that I remember. So yeah, I think that one was fine. It's the next one that starts to get a little questionable. Oh, so check this out. These things add 10%. So you stack those Mambas on top of one of your builds, and you get to do something fun, like click that button again, but also watch that visibility bubble just burst open. Now I can see all the enemy's stuff, right? Look at all that stuff. These guys. Here's my mining operation. And these guys over here. All right, loud and clear. Oh yeah, so I usually don't do Warlike. I usually do custom, where I have a lot more crew available. So I had to kill off some stuff and recycle some stuff. But what's weird is once I started doing that, or exactly at that time, coincidentally, the crew jumped to 13,000. Okay, see how I'm moving the ship with N? That wipe command? That's the only thing that fired those missiles right now. They were sitting there that whole time, and they didn't shoot anything at those guys. They'll do it again right here, just after I build these asteroids mines. Look. See, they're not shooting at these guys, right? And you can see I'm set to aggressive. I have to move it with that N command, and then he fires all the missiles. It's kind of interesting, right? And it's like you have to keep kind of telling it to move or do things for it to think to fire, but then it'll just stop. And I don't know if it's because there's way too many targets. And for some reason, all the enemies like to go directly to the bottom of my base and shoot at me from underneath. So this is the main fail. This is just blatantly obvious. My vessel is on aggressive mode. Has been the whole time. And it won't fire a shot. Won't fire. I guess it shoots at the missiles coming in. That's cool. But look, it's not doing anything. I have to tell it to attack. I have to click on each of those individual ships so that they'll shoot their turrets at it. It's extreme micromanagement. It's absolutely unfortunate. So that's the biggest example of it across the board. You know, I don't think there's much more obvious examples than that. This is where I'm like kind of moving it around, trying to see what else works. You know, what if I try the manual controls? What if I try the move button? What if I try the attack button? You know, what works? Oh, so this is a little invention I made here called the Death from Above Rotating Ion Turret Super Weapon. I don't know, maybe I haven't finished the name. But Death from Above for sure. So I really like the three-dimensionality of this game. Oh, look. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You see all the problem right there? That was what I was saying earlier. Those freaking scavengers are just sitting around like it's not time to collect money. Assholes. Nonetheless. So I launched this DBA thing in here. Boom. And then turn on the cannons. Well, bam! And just literally erase structures from the map in kind of one shot. It's kind of nice. It's a lot of fun. So yeah. And here, this is kind of funny. It's like they were working, but also I was manually trying to tell it to like hit the command unit, like everybody only target the command unit, and it seemed like I had to keep reminding it of that. So I don't know if it's losing its mind as to what its priorities are or what, but the targeting is off for sure. Something else I noticed is when you click on in the top middle of the screen, it says years. I think it says right now year 6. It could be a 5. Nope, that was 6, 7 now. So yeah, so it says year 7. When you click on that, yeah, there you go. It says 1 battle cruiser. Look at that, perfect timing. And badoosh, that is way more things than 1 battle cruiser down there. Like way more. So I don't know if that's part of it too or what's going on there, but there's some ship identification targeting problems taking place, especially when you have a lot of units in the game. But nonetheless, I feel like it would be a waste of a game to not take out every single one of their main battle elements. So I just kind of zip around the map with this Death from Above ion cannon and snipe those guys one at a time. Luckily, it's pretty easy to drive around and fire. If you're on top, and that's the problem with the ion cannon, I think, is like if you put it side mounted, it gets a lot harder for you to be able to align with other ships because it's only vertical, that there's a line when targeting of where things precisely are located. I wish that maybe when moving your ship you'd be able to see what it looks like in its end position with maybe targeting lasers coming out of some of the weapons, or at least targeting ranges. Because it would be a lot more of a tactically precise game if you would be able to do that kind of stuff. I'm always kind of guessing, is this thing going to shoot that? Is it, I'll turn it on and like this right here, watch. Like, well, I guess I kind of got half of it. Okay, well, I'll turn these other ones on and that'll do it. So, yeah. Nonetheless, it's still badass. Now, what's interesting here is I'm doing some manual targeting, but it's also like every once in a while, I think it was kind of working a little better or starting to target, and I don't know if it has anything to do with me destroying things and therefore there's less on the screen. I'm not sure. I was contemplating going over to this battleship right here, battle cruiser or whatever they called it, and never mind, I'm going to just go end it. That'll be a lot easier. So yeah, I launched over to the main command center and activated some extraordinarily powerful weaponry and just melted directly through its shields. Now, there's 5 there. One wasn't quite fully on it, but it didn't kill it. And so that's kind of interesting. I think next time I will have to add another laser or two to make sure it's a one-shot weapon. But yeah, that's a quick playthrough, mainly to illustrate the fact that the turrets are not targeting precisely mid to late game. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.